Well, ladies and gents, you love to see it. Godzilla Minus One director Takashi Yamazaki dunking on Hollywood. Because, of course, we all know how much Godzilla Minus One cost. I mean, it was absolutely nothing. A sub 15 million, between 10 and 15. So, what's that, about 12? 12 and a half, 13, something like that. And he dunks on Marvel, Hollywood, DC, everyone. The whole Hollywood machine he absolutely dunks on. For a few reasons. Because we know that they kept their budget really, really small, despite having, significant VFX. But he's discussing about vision. And this is true. Inevitably, most things in, Hollywood cost more because there's unions behind it. There's fees that have to be paid. It is a little bit more expensive. But he singles out Hollywood's lack of creative direction and vision, which we know all too well when it comes to the likes of Marvel, where they literally just keep making stuff up right until the wire. This is well documented. This isn't Marvel hatred. It's well documented. They always do this. They will even come out and admit this, and they don't have a clear vision. And that's why a lot of these projects are costing far too much money. They don't have one singular creative behind it going, this is what we're going to be doing. This is it. And as much as people don't like, say, The Creator, for instance, the film The Creator, that's a good example of a Hollywood film, because it is Hollywood. It's a good example of a Hollywood film where a singular creative vision managed to create a film with a huge amount of CGI for a tiny fraction of the price a bigger budget movie would do, or like a tentpole property would do. So it makes a lot of sense what Godzilla Minus One director Takashi Yamazaki is saying here, but it's fun nonetheless. He doesn't, he is criticizing Hollywood. He absolutely is. In what he's saying, it's not out and out barefaced Hollywood, blah, 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 but he is critiquing them because he's suggesting the process that they were able to go through could be something which Hollywood learns from. He does also note, and we'll get to the interview in a minute, he does also note that the process of payments in Japan is an issue. He wants to be able to pay people more. They're really, really tight on their finances. They don't really pay people that much money. And that is another reason why it's significantly less in terms of its budget, but it would still be less regardless compared to a Hollywood film. Not just because of their salaries. If they paid the right wages, it would still be significantly less because they've got one creative vision working on it. So we'll dive into this today. Hit subscribe if you're new here, folks. Turn the bell notifications on. And check out my Twitter at Mr. H Reviews. Now, again, he really likes Marvel. Well, not Marvel. He likes Hollywood. He wants to work with A-lister actors next. He's come out and said that. He's also come out and said he's met Steven Spielberg. He says, I've met God. Like, where do I go from here? Which is crazy. But, hey, this guy's living his best life. He's just out here. And we're just enjoying watching the fun that he's having. So this article, says that he's dunking on Marvel Studios. And he is, but it's not just Marvel. It's everyone in Hollywood. It's the Hollywood machine. So let's get down here, right? And this is, just as a quick aside, American audiences have become accustomed to watching massive budget superhero movies that cost nothing short of $250 million. And they get crap reactions. I mean, this is an unsustainable business model. It's unsustainable. There is no way in hell you can keep paying $250 million and getting $400 million back at the box office. You just can't. It's unsustainable. You have to do better. You have to get better results. It's not going to happen. So, yeah, Godzilla, highest grossing, I think it is the highest grossing live action Japanese movie of all time, I think. If I remember rightly. It's crazy. But it costs absolutely nothing. So, Godzilla Minus One director Takashi Yamazaki would pour salt into the wounds of Western filmmakers by not only sticking to his claim that the film only cost a total of $12 million to produce, but that the production was able to pull this off without having to cut corners on luxuries for the cast and crew on the set of the movie. One of the things that they did was they retrofitted, they did a refurb of a kitchen and had a dedicated sushi chef on site. I would love that. That'd be epic. Give me all the sushi. So he said this, right? He sat down with Vulture. Yamazaki said that his team underlined that working conditions were pretty comfortable during the making of Minus One despite the small budget, he claimed. One thing that I will say is that we had our company do a pretty nice renovation an overhaul of this office floor. Because once we knew that we were going to work on a Godzilla project, we knew that we were going to be spending significant hours together. We made it more comfortable and cozy, and we spent some time building out a kitchen. How fantastic is that? It makes a lot of sense. I mean, if you're in one building, an office floor or whatever, yeah, make it good for your staff. We have a designated sushi chef in the kitchen. We really try to avoid long hours, but if you do, it's a very welcoming environment in which to spend a few extra hours. Hopefully, in due time, and this is the issue, VFX budget increases will allow for more improvements. I'm looking forward to the day when we can pay creatives more. And that is an issue, a long-standing issue in Japan, is that the wages of some of the creatives, they're not great, they're just not. And that is a problem, obviously. But still, they completely refurbed the office floor, built out a kitchen, and had an on-site designated sushi chef. Sure, you're not getting paid massive amounts of money, but you are working on one of the highest acclaimed, well, the highest acclaimed Godzilla film pretty much of all time, I think, now, in terms of views and monetary values and things. And you get all of this as well? That's pretty good. I mean, yeah, obviously, it doesn't pay. You'd want more money, but that's still pretty cool. Anyway, so he would go on to say about Hollywood, basically. I mean, he says, you know, is there any advice that he could give Hollywood to solve their problem? Yamazaki said that Hollywood should exercise more care in their filmmaking process. So he said this: if there's a solid vision throughout the process of making a single film, then I think there is a way to cut down on costs. Yes, there are trial and error costs, and bouncing ideas off each other is necessary to a certain extent, but if you can clearly communicate that vision, then maybe there is no need to do a lot of experimenting on the side that eats up a lot of the cost and time. Yeah, obviously. Yeah, clearly. So this is pretty straight down the line advice to Hollywood. Have better visions, have singular focus, singular drive. Stop piss-arsing around wasting time on other things, nonsense. So there you go. I mean, there's not a whole lot else to say here, to be perfectly honest, but it is fascinating stuff. It's good advice. It's something which they absolutely should be doing. It's something which they have done in the past. I don't understand why they've stopped doing this. I think a lot of the issue is when studios stop relying on directors, and this I think is the issue. It used to be that a studio, albeit they would still have oversight, but they would rely more on the director. Go do your vision. Go on, go do your vision, and come back when it's finished, and we'll look at multiple edits. Now it's, yeah, cool. Go do our vision, a little bit of yours. We're going to keep looking at it, keep reworking it, keep changing it. That guy's got a vision that he needs to bring in as well, by the way. So we're going to keep changing it as well. I think that's by and large a lot of the problem here, is the lack of trust. Studios have become far too risk averse, I reckon. Anyway, let me know what you think down below. Cheers, guys. Take care. Bye-bye now.